Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming to my channel. It's Jay, Flower and Fox Doula. Make sure you like, subscribe, you know the deal. And feel free to drop comments or ideas. I really just wanted to talk about overnight support as a postpartum doula. I'm not a night nurse. I'm strictly postpartum support, and there to me, there's definitely a difference. Um, but I did do I have this amazing, resilient client that I did overnight support for. It lasted 2 nights in a row. That's actually a lot, physically and emotionally. I didn't realize it would be. But I'm learning and working things out for myself. I would tell you that if you do an overnight session, at least for me, I need you can hear it in my voice. I need like 24 hours to recover. So maybe overnight support every other day. Or if you do, let's say you do 7 days of overnight support, I feel like you need 7 days to recover. So just don't even work the 7 days after. And as a doula, you may have that flexibility, you may not. But I really feel like it takes 24 hours to wind down from like an 8 to 12 hour shift. At least for me, it does. I have my own kids and family too that I have to come back to, and I need to have energy for them as well. But yeah, overnight shifts, they're tough, but people need them. People need them. So like I said, I just recently did an overnight support for a family. Won't get into too much details about the family, but I will talk about how I found myself helping them in a 6 to 7 hour time frame. I think, besides the general going into the home and asking the family, especially the birthing parent, like, how are you doing? Like, tell me everything. Um, Besides that aspect of it, the listening and open ear and emotional support, the physical and informational support is really what I want to highlight today. So the first thing I did was I took the baby. The baby is staying in a room with its birthing parent. I took the baby out of the room and they set me up in the living room. They have this really comfortable couch. They set me up in the living room with blankets and the boppy for the baby. I mean, this is like a new baby. They're not crawling around or anything, right? They're mainly sleeping, eating, and pooping. That's like all they're doing. They provided me with Wi-Fi, they provided me with TV. I felt very comfortable, very welcome, very, very much at home. They had their guest bathroom. They showed me all that stuff. So first thing I did, number one, is I went and took baby with me into the space that they provided for me. So that was the living room. What's amazing when you have these bassinets with wheels, you can just roll them away and take them with you to wherever you're staying if you're provided a guest bedroom. Um, the second thing I did, meal prep. So the beauty about postpartum is you get to eat a lot, especially for breastfeeding. You should be eating like a lot. It's almost like you should be eating as much as your baby. If your baby's nursing or if you just pumped, you should replenish yourself immediately or during. So drinking water, eating snacks. I know some people are so exhausted they can't even fathom eating like a 4 course meal. That's fine. I sometimes am like, okay, it's 2 in the morning, you're nursing. I'm gonna make eggs and oatmeal for you. Yeah, 2 in the morning. I'm gonna give you that. If you've slept in longer, you can, I think, like, let's say you slept in for 7 hours. I think you can definitely get a bigger meal. But if you're waking up every 2 hours, I think it's great to get what you can get in and get back to sleep, honestly. Get back to resting, getting back to healing and recovering. So that was the second thing. Meal preps. Not necessarily like I'm prepping for 5 days, but I'm making something really quickly for you to consume right now. The third thing that I was doing, like I mentioned, you might have someone that is breastfeeding, chest feeding, or exclusively pumping, or a combination of all of that. And well, we all know, well, maybe we don't, but breast pump parts are the most. There's a million parts to them. The beauty is a lot of the manufacturers have YouTube videos, they have TikToks, they have Instagram on all their parts and how to clean their different variations of breast pumps. So I would tell you as a doula, if you're, or even just someone going to support a family that's breastfeeding, just do like a quick tutorial on like what are all the parts for For the breast pump that can be touched by water and cleaned, some breast pumps come with these tubes that it's essentially a vacuum cleaner, right? Like these tubes connect to a motor inside. Those cannot get wet, right? So just become savvy on like, this is the pump my person that I'm supporting has. I'm gonna watch these videos on how to clean it, how to put it back together, all that things. Just a general cleanliness of anything that is gonna touch the baby's mouth. That includes baby bottles. I've seen quite a bit where parents have the nipple for the bottle in the ring and they don't remove it to clean it. You should be removing the nipple and cleaning that separately from the ring and allowing that to dry separately. You don't want any like stale water drying on this thing. And you also want to make sure you get all the crevices and there's no dry or old milk like in between the ring and the nipple. So really, again, cleaning parts, steaming them. I would definitely ask the family, like, would you like for me to steam the part? Some people don't want you to steam. Some people don't have, things plugged in all the time for various reasons. So before you go and steam, definitely confirm with the family, is it okay if I steam these parts? They might want those parts in like the next 2 hours and they don't have time for steam and dry or whatever the case may be. The fourth thing that I did was I basically kept the breastfeeding parent on like, well, I didn't keep them there, but I helped them maintain the pump schedule that they came up with. So very dedicated mother pumping every 2 hours. If that's your jam, hey, great. I'm here to come wake you up every 2 hours. Let's say, I show up and you're super exhausted and I know you need more than 2 hours of sleep. I'm going to leave you alone because, if you don't get that rest and recovery, you're not going to make a lot of milk. So I think the client said they only had like 1 ounce of milk when they pumped 2 hours ago. I think you can sleep for 5 hours and wake up and you might be a little full. Like, we don't want you to get mastitis, but I think sometimes sleeping in is like what needs to happen. And you can pump. And then when you pump, you have like 7 ounces of milk because or whatever, six, whatever you get because you've waited so long to pump. But you got the rest that you needed to take on the next day. So just helping keep them on a pump schedule, especially if baby isn't latching and they're exclusively breastfeeding, is really, really important that they pump and start building that supply. Yeah. So the other thing that I did also, obviously the baby is with me the whole night. I still have a baby at home, so this was really interesting emotionally for me. I'm obviously feeding and cleaning the baby, and what is important is keep a log of this. So I kept a log, but I like was so tired I kept forgetting to send it to the mom the next morning. Um, and maybe the mom wants to know all these stuff so she could put it in her own app. Maybe she doesn't really care, or not just the mom, but like the birthing parent, right? So I think it's important for your own sanity too to keep a log of diaper changed, fed formula, how many ounces, fed breast milk, how many ounces, etc. And that way you can share it with the parents. It's like a sense of security for them. And again, if they're tracking these things on their own, they can just add the information that you provided to them. And it's just really helpful to keep me on a schedule too. Now, one thing is if you're going to do overnight stays, build into your contract that the family has to provide somewhere for you to take naps. And yeah, because I was provided with like a really amazing like couch setup situation. Um, but I also do freelance work with a doula agency, and they require their clients to provide you with a guest bedroom and a bed, clean sheets, access to everything the baby needs in that guest bedroom, so you don't have to interrupt the parents during the night. If you're doing like an 8-hour shift. And especially because like if you're like me and you're full spectrum doula, birth, fertility, and postpartum, I'll have a whole week where it's just overnight stays. And then the next week it's just day visits, right? And then the next week it's like in person or 1 hour visits with clients to go see their doctors. So I'm not a machine. I cannot go for 8 hours without any kind of like nap or anything like that. So I learned a lot from this overnight support and just kind of talking to this client, and I built that into my future contracts with other clients because it was honestly my first official overnight as a doula. I usually just do day visits, which are like 3 to 4 hour sessions. So overnight, it was actually really physically relatively easy. The tough part for me was I'm taking care of a newborn and I'm also still nursing and have like a baby at home who misses me. So yeah, those are just a couple of things. Other things you can do. You can do the dishes. You're not a cleaning person, you're not a house manager. So I don't recommend really like doing people's laundry. But if like the newborn has some laundry that needs folding, definitely do the newborn laundry folding, I think. Um, I don't do other dishes, like, I don't do people's dishes. I stick to the baby anything that touches the baby's mouth or the mom from pulling breast milk, those are the things that I will wash, and anything that I use to meal prep. Um, but I like, if, dad or uncle come and throw something in the sink, I'm not cleaning it because that's not my job. Um yeah, so that's kind of it. If you have any comments or questions or you want to share some stuff with me, some ideas of how I can really change a overnight experience, but I really feel like overnight is pretty simple because it's like go to bed. I just realized something. The other thing I did too was, I guess number 6 was for the parents physical support. I did the Bangkok belly bind wrap for them and then just kind of help them like tuck into bed, put a heating pad over their womb area, over their stomach, and let them sleep for like 5 hours because they need and deserve it. So yeah, number 6, sorry. But yeah, go ahead, drop in the comments, let me know if there's anything else that you would add to like an overnight stay. But I feel like it's a pretty simple approach when it comes to overnight. Get that parent to get rest and recovery and still support them in like however they're choosing to feed uh their baby. Because mom's gonna make more, or a birthing parent who's breastfeeding, it's probably gonna make more milk at night and early morning hours than the middle of the day. And not everyone can afford a doula to come and stay and do multiple visits. So you want to treat every visit as if it's their only visit. You might, oh yeah, I got like 7 more visits with this client. But you really want you want to be like, "Oh, this is my opportunity to help them recharge and recover." Because just like you have to get 24 hours, like in like a day, what they made up is going to be lost when they're by themselves. So just something to think about. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Till next time. Bye.